Good morning, everyone. Hello, 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 hello. I can't find my sign that says 30-day challenge. It's underneath the pile over there that's, shall we say, it's allocated to work. Actually, it's a mess, but don't tell no one. Right, end of the last video, I said that I would show you the elements that I'm actually going to put in my journal. So that's the one that you saw me demonstrating yesterday, and I've just added another layer underneath there, and I've also stitched around the three sides as well. Do you feel dizzy now? Now I've spun that round. So that's that one. And then I decided, after managing to get my computer sorted out, because it wouldn't let me access it at all yesterday, and then I had issues with the phone loading as well, so it was like, ugh, nightmare day yesterday with technical stuff. So I printed off this image from the Calico Collage kit, Garden Fresh, because it was quite plain in the background, and I said you didn't want anything too busy because it kind of detracts from the picture that's going to go inside of there. And then I made the card to go inside that you would then add the picture to, and I just put little circle tabs at the top which fit inside the thumb hole. Brain is not in gear today. Mind you, when is it any day, really, thinking about it. And then I've stitched again around the three sides using one of the fancy stitches on my sewing machine. So those are the two elements from yesterday. Today we are doing this one. This is a double page spread, and each side opens up. So it opens up that way, and it also, move that across, flips out that way, so that you've got this writing space as well. But also the picture comes out, so that there's the photo mounts on here. The picture comes out, and this was one of the images from out of the magazine, and if we flip it over, I attached it to some of the coffee dyed paper so that this can also be written on. Alright, and they are both magnetised, these pages. Now you don't have to put the magnets on, but you will need to put some form of paper clip on at the top or at the side to be able to hold it in place, because otherwise this page will just keep flopping open. The same on this side as well. So it's exactly the same on this side, just the reverse. And then this one is also magnetised and flips open and flips that way. So lots of writing space just within that area there. Now I've done two. You don't have to do two, you could just do just the one. And again, the picture flips out, photo frame mounts there, flip it over, coffee dyed paper on the back, and then that just slots in there. Now it doesn't have to be an image from the magazine, it could be a photograph of someone that you want to include in your journal. What I would suggest though is, rather than using the actual photograph, I would probably do a photocopy of it, because there's no reason why you then couldn't attach maybe the photo somewhere else if you wanted to use the real photo. But I wouldn't probably put the original in somewhere like this. Okay, let's have a go at telling you how to do it now. So this is the area where I'm going to position these two pages. Where did it? No, it's not. Wrong one. This is the place where I'm going to position these two pages. Thought it looked a bit different. So this is where I'm going to put them. And all you need is a sheet of A4 paper, and I've spoken about this on another video, because it's one of the things that I forgot to add to the material list, and it's 3M micropore. You see the micropore. Surgical tape is another word for it. So it's if you're allergic to plasters and you cut yourself, this is what you then use to apply your gauze or your bit of cotton wool. And the reason why I use this is because because I'm sticking 2 sheets of paper together, you can push it down quite firm. You can burnish it so that it almost kind of disappears. It's also a lot stickier than washi tape. You could decorate it up, so you could lay some strips down on a sheet of acetate and then stamp over it, but you would need to use the like a stays-on ink, a more permanent ink. But I like the fact that it kind of disappears into the background, so then people are a bit like, ooh, can't see how that's attached, unless they look closely, of course. And this is one of the things that I use it for, so that's why I need it on the material list for this particular project. Well, for a lot of projects I use it a lot. I'm rambling. Shut up, Carol. Right, so I've got a sheet of A4 paper, because as I say, my signature pages are made from A4, and basically all I've done is I've folded it in half. Now if I went to attach this to this, it's exactly the same size, and it does need to be smaller. And here's one I prepared earlier. It's a bit like Blue Peter, isn't it? And you will see by how much I cut it down. So I cut it down by about ½ an inch, is that? Where's my ruler gone? There. Yeah, a little bit short. So 1, 2, oh come on Carol, brain. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's the side I want. 1, 2, 3/8 of an inch, and on that side just shy of ½ an inch. So that's how much smaller the sheet of paper needs to be. Now the reason why it needs to be smaller is because it's going to sit on your page there. This bit here, which is the folded side of the paper, you don't want it so close to the centre of the page. You need to leave a little bit of a gap, because you've got 2 pages here that are going to open up on each other, and this signature is yet to be stitched in. So you'll be sort of rid of part of that page once it's all stitched in anyway. So you do need to leave a border just there. You also need to leave a border on this side here, because if I open it up, basically what we're doing is we are attaching this, the folded bit, to the page in the signature, and we need to attach the masking tape, the micropore or the washi tape down this side. If you have it butt up to the edge, then the micropore or washi tape has nowhere to adhere to. So you need to leave a space to be able to adhere this, the new piece, to the signature page. Alright, so I'm going to stick that in place now. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Now, I'm going to attach a magnet to this. And I'm going to use my Glossy Accents. And there was a few of you having problems with your magnets on that complicated envelope near the beginning. Don't feel that you've got to cover it over, or if you've forgotten it, don't worry about it and put it on later. Just cover it over with a punched out circle or a bit of lace. So I know that I need to leave a bit of a gap at the top and bottom. They need to be equal. When I fold this in, I need to make sure there's a little bit of a gap here. And I know that I need to leave the gap there. And I want a magnet roughly in the centre. So I'm just going to daub a little bit. It's not going to work, is it? Come on. Come on, Glossy Accents tube. I've got a bit clogged with my pin. So one problem with Glossy Accents is sometimes there's a little lump of glue just sits at the top of the nozzle. There we go, just a tiny little dab. And put my magnet on there. Now, one of the things I would say about if you're going to use washi tape is that it's not a very strong glue on it. And so I would actually put a little line of PVA glue where you're going to position your washi tape. Now I've taken this page off because I want to position my micropore first, and I want to try and do it about 2/3 on, so that I'm covering over that magnet, but I want to leave about 1/3 of it overhanging the edge of the paper. Can you see that? Can you see how much is overhanging the edge? Let me just bring that bit back. Okay. Make sure that I centered it. Make sure the edge of this micropore is near the edge of the page on this side. And I've still got my space on this side as well. Alright. Now, this micropore is going to act as the hinge. So if I now pull that over, if I left it just as that, the edge of the micropore here is sticky, and if you run your fingernail down it, you can feel the edge of the micropore. So I'm going to put another piece now on this side. And this one can be half and half. So whereas on the other side I did 2/3 on the page and 1/3 hanging off, this one I want to do half on one side and half on the other, because this has got to be the stronger hinge, or the stronger part of the hinge. Now this micropore is going to stick out a little bit on this paper because of the colour of the paper. So you can see it, but you can't see it, if that makes sense. Alright, but you can see now that that now acts as a hinge. Alright, so that will fold in, and then it will also fold out. Now I need to find the position of where the magnet needs to go on this side. So this one is now protected by the micropore, so I know that the two magnets are not going to stick together and then I can't separate them. But you'll also need to remember when you're using the magnets, and I forgot to mention this last time, is it has a north and a south pole. So if you put north to north, they will repel from each other, they'll jump away from each other. If you put north to south, then they will adhere. So I tend to drop it from a little bit of a height and it will find its own north-south rather than you trying to flip it over to try and find where it needs to go. I'm just going to put a tiny little dab of Glossy Accents on there, and I'm going to close my page. Now the Glossy Accents isn't going to make that magnet stick to this side of the page because it takes a while for it to dry. But if I now pull it open, I've now got a little circle over here of glue. But what I do need to remember is that when I pick that magnet off, to flip it over, because I've got to remember about the north-south thing to make sure that I've got it the right way. And I'm just going to leave it on the edge of the page like that. because what I'm going to do later is I'm going to put a tab on here. So like I did on this one, put a little tab on, and then what it does is it covers over the magnet on that side. But it also then acts as being able to pull it open. So that will end up not showing. Now what I could do is I could put a decorative washi tape over the top of that if I so wanted. So that will now, see how that's catching? Alright, next thing is the picture. So I've cut out my picture ready, and I've attached my coffee dyed paper to the back of it, and I'm actually going to stitch around all of this as well. What I then used was photo corners, and someone was asking where I got these from. I do a lot of my shopping on eBay, so have a look at eBay, but the packet that I've actually got is actually from the Paper Chase. 252 of them. But because of the colour of them, they'll get a bit lost, so I actually want them a little bit darker. So I'm just going to get my distress ink. Already got ink on my little dabber, and I'm just going to run my dabber over the top of the photo corners. So now they will stand out a little bit more. And they're sticky backed, so you just peel one off. Now this is where you need to be a little bit clever and position it onto the picture. And you've got to do it carefully because it will fall off. Ooh, come on. It's got all quiet, hasn't it? There we go. So I've now got my four corners in place, so it means that I can position this. In fact, I'm going to have it up a little bit higher, I think, because I think I might put a little banner at the bottom, a little nameplate banner. Have I got that on straight? I think so. And there we go. And then I'll put a little nameplate down here. So again, if this was going to be a photograph, there's a nameplate down here. So if I pull this out carefully, they're now in the right position. Rather than trying to place them on the paper, trying to guess where they're going to go. Now what I didn't show you with this one is that when you turn it over, you don't actually get to see the coffee dyed paper, because what I did was, this was such a long photograph in the magazine, and I didn't actually want to cut her legs off. Poor love, she needs to walk about, you know. So if you flip it over, there's the coffee dyed paper down the full length, and then I folded it in half, so it also becomes a secret little place. So I'm going to stitch around this on the sewing machine around these four sides, fold her back in half, and then slot her in there. And that's all there is to it. You just need to remember, when it comes to doing this side of the page, is the paper was folded that way on this side so that it opens that way. You need to flip it over so that the paper will now open that way on that side, and then you would add your tape down this side to form the hinge to be able to open it out like that. But all the same considerations, this piece needs to be cut down smaller. So what did I say? 3/8 of an inch and 1/2 an inch remove that much and you'll probably be about right. You can afford to go smaller. You don't have to be the same measurements as I've just done. Excuse me. But it gives the effect that all you've just turned over your page, and it gives the effect that that's the page and that's the page. But there is actually that bit there, and there is actually that bit there. All right. That's it for today, I think. Oh, just one other thing very quickly. I did do this the other day. So we talked about that centre envelope. We did these yesterday. And then on the next page, we've got this pocket, which is the belly band. All right. So don't forget the belly band pocket. Then you've got your ruffle page. And then you've got your 2 pages that flip open that we've just shown. All right. So do it again. So we've got from the centre signature, envelope, picture mounts, belly band pocket, ruffle page which you've done previously, and your flip out pages. Alright. Okay, I'm off. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.